All right, welcome to the 2022 Talking Giants FanFest live show. Got myself, Justin Pennick of Talking Giants, license plate guy who should be in the damn Fan Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
And got Chris the Entertainah, our guy, King of Giants YouTube. And we're doing this again, second year doing this, fun. We've got a good crowd. We got speakers this time.
I love it.
No lap this year, though.
No lap. A lap's not needed. That's retired.
Can I say something, though? And I've had this stewing up in me. Because, you know, we're all people who are online a little too much.
Too much.
I've seen people being like, how could you guys run a lap for Joe Judge? Shut up. Shut your mouth. The only people who didn't run a lap was because they didn't feel like running and they were lazy. You guys were all sucked into Joe Judge more than we were. Okay?
Maybe.
And I would run the lap again. It was fun. So
it was fun.
The people doing I would never do that. Well, guess what? You're on Twitter anyway, so don't do too cool for school. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. I do not regret running the lap for even 1 second. I would do it again if Joe Judge was still the coach. He's not. So for Brian Dabble, what do we do?
DeBall. Brian DeBall.
Is that how it's pronounced?
That's how Kadarius Toney now.
How about just coach?
Yeah, just coach. We got our friend Chris Peterson with the coach shirt, so.
That's right, just coach.
How about just Dabes? I like Dabes.
Yeah, I mean,
like
he tells everyone to call him the Dave.
Yeah.
DeBall.
You know, my good friend Brian
You say
Dable,
DeBall, I
Coach
say
Daves. All right, how you feeling, man?
I'm
It's
feeling
good
great.
to
We're back.
do it
We're
again.
back. I mean, every year, come this time, July and August, you know what it's like. You get that feeling all over again. It's Giants football. You know, everybody that was all pissed off in, February and March or whatever, still pissed off, but a little less. You know, it's Giant season is upon us. So if you're not pumped up for it, then you're dead.
Who's the guy you're most excited to see this year?
I mean, look, I wanted 53 linemen on the roster, so I'm going to stick with my Neal, but he's not the shiny new toy like Thibodeau is. So, I asked a buddy a question one time. I was like, who are you more excited to see? I'm more excited to see Neal, his first pass block, knowing that Thomas has the other side down pat, or are you more excited to see Thibodeau, bull rushing and getting a sack? And I'm like, never mind, don't ask that.
It's gonna be beautiful.
Don't answer that. It's Thibodeau. Yeah, of course. That's a shiny new toy. Everybody's ready. And to be honest with you, he was the consensus #1 pick for most of the college year anyway. So to fall to the Giants at 5 is just ridiculous. So we got him, we got Neal. I'm really excited.
The consensus 2 pick to fall to 7. Kayvon, obviously he's still got to show up on the field and play. He's a star already. We've seen Kayvon jersey. I saw someone with 2 different Kayvon jerseys already.
Right here.
Danny King. Yeah, Kayvon jerseys. See? I'm missing them. There's so many.
Yeah, but how could you not? He is like we said, the new toy on the block. I mean, this is it.
We haven't had a first-round edge rusher since JPP.
Correct. I mean, look, you go back to Daniel Jones' pick. I'm like, Josh Allen. Not saying he worked out, just Josh Allen, and boom. So this is what the Giants needed. This is what the Giants got. We'll see what happens on the field.
And football's turned into a game where it's like, coverage is more, is it coverage more important? Is pass rush more important? Well, they're both important. I think coverage is more important in the regular season to get you through a season. But we've seen it in years past. What do the best playoff teams have? A pass rush.
Correct.
Because guess what? When you're in the playoffs, you're playing the best QBs every week. So even as good as coverage you have, they're going to find guys. But guess what they're not going to be able to deal with? Is Aaron Donald going down your throat. Or JPP, like you mentioned, and
Bosa.
Shaq Barrett, coming off the edges. Yeah. So I'm excited for Kayvon Thibodeau. Like you said, that first sack is going to be just one of the more happy moments as a Giants fan.
Come on, Giants fans. Take yourselves back to when Barkley touched the ball.
I want a preseason one, too. I don't care if it's just preseason.
I want one as soon as he steps on the field. So I want one tonight. So it doesn't really matter. Like, just don't hurt Jones yet. So I just want, him to flourish here. And he already has the temperament. He looks like he's a star already. He's, I think he's built for New York.
And, people talk about, like, him off the field. Or whatever. Like, you watch him at practice, and Dan Duggan actually wrote an article. He's straight business. Like, he doesn't even dance when the other guys are dancing, And again, like, there's no problem with dancing. That's like a good thing. But he's just like straight business. You don't hear him yelling or nothing. Like, he is very business-like on the field. And obviously you saw that at Oregon, and hopefully we see that translate to the NFL. And I've said, in practice, is Andrew Thomas has handled Kayvon Thibodeau. But we know Andrew Thomas is good. He's top 10 in all of the pass blocking stats for offensive tackles in the NFL. But Kayvon's a handful for him. And Kayvon gets him every once in a while, and on a clean move. So I'm very excited for Kayvon Thibodeau.
He better at the 5th pick in the draft. You know what I mean?
You're right.
He better get him.
Yeah, but one of the things that I'm also most excited for too, especially when you add Kayvon, and then I think the new coaching staff is going to get it out of these guys too. Rooting for superstars. I mean, think of how fun it was. There's some 13 jerseys that are still floating around here too. I know sometimes it's quite a controversial thing to bring up, but now I do think we're at the point where we can appreciate Odell, and the part of appreciating Odell is also recognizing how much of a superstar and how big of a superstar he was in New York.
Facts.
So when you have Kadarius Toney and an offense that can really maximize his skill set, and where maybe it just has to break 1 or 2 tackles instead of 5 on a given play. Saquon Barkley, final year of his deal, obviously, and then obviously Kayvon Thibodeau taken with the 5th overall pick.
That's such a good point about superstars, because I mean, when you guys are youngins, but there was nothing but 56s in here, and then of course you could fast forward to Eli Manning's, but you had Victor Cruz that actually took over the stadium. You had more Cruz chants than anything in the world. Then all of a sudden came, Odell. He literally, listen, you guys can say what you want. If the haters are going to want to hate him for that stupid interview, which he should never have done, was so dumb, and you never throw 10 under the bus because he's a god. But what he did on this field, I don't care what you say, Odell was unbelievable, and he was an unbelievable superstar here, and he was loved.
And he transcended the Giants. I mean, I lived in Florida.
100%.
You see guys with the Odell, blonde tips haircut.
It was during training camp 2019. I mean, just how many? I didn't recognize it at the time because it was just the culture that we were living in with the Giants. But thinking back on it, how many kids had that blonde mohawk haircut? It was crazy.
Yeah.
So we need a guy, and obviously, do I love Andrew Thomas? But the left tackle's not going to be
not going to be that
especially
guy.
Andrew, he's quiet,
Which
which
is what
the
I
way
said
I
about
like.
Neil, right? Exactly.
But Kayvon is he's like that guy that's like, hey, fans around the league notice, we got to face first Kayvon. So
I think he's literally the first guy in a long time that the opposing teams they got a plan for him. When have we had that? Honestly.
The other thing that I'm excited about going into this year, as opposed to 3 or 4 years ago, it feels that we have at least potential cornerstone pieces. Where if you go back 4 years ago, maybe Barkley, you could argue, after his rookie year. But outside of that, where were your cornerstone pieces? We didn't have cornerstone pieces at the tackle. We didn't have a cornerstone edge rusher. Now you look at our team, you've got 2 potential cornerstone tackles. You've got a cornerstone safety in McKinney. And you got a couple of other pieces, Azeez Ojulari, that could definitely develop into a cornerstone piece as well. So it feels like in the most important areas, the Giants have a very bright future.
And not only that, Chris, cornerstones, but those are 2 important positions, like you mentioned, the offensive tackles. Now you have Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal. On the edge, pass rushers, you got Kayvon and Azeez Ojulari. Leonard Williams in the middle, but he's older. You just took the biggest weaknesses of the last 5 years, which has been the pass rush and the offensive tackles.
That's our strength.
It should be the strength eventually.
It is the strength.
Yeah.
I put out a tweet the other day, and it was like we literally could have the best bookends in football. Of course, the Giant fans like me that are just overly unrealistic sometimes, we're like, oh, that sounds great, but then you have the ones that are more realistic, like let them play a game first. And I understand that. I mean, I'm no idiot.
But you also
know, can't be excited.
You also know the first game, Evan Neal's probably going to struggle the first couple of games, and those fans are going to start talking, oh, he's the next Eric Flowers, oh, he's the worst.
Thank God we have Andrew Thomas, so we could just point and be like, yeah, oh yeah,
that's correct.
Oh yeah,
some bust. That's a good point.
Yeah.
So this is an Andrew Thomas stand show. So, by the way, I want to give a few thank yous. First, Candlewick Diner provided food for everybody.
Yeah,
thank you for
delicious.
Candlewick Diner.
Very good. Very
Candlewick
good.
Diner.
Obviously, thank you to our guys, but Nick Gates came by.
Yes,
he
thank
came
you,
by
Nick
and say
Gates.
hi.
Loved it.
Signed autographs for everybody. Nick Gates versus the world, talking Giants versus the world.
It's funny, too, because he stopped by. He's like, geez, I didn't realize there was going to be so many people this early. I'm like, tough, sign away.
The thing that blew me away about Nick Gates the most was Bobby made him look small.
Oh, yeah, everyone's saying, oh, Bobby's a swing tackle. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe we should just leave Marcus McKeith in that tackle.
Bobby makes freaking Godzilla look small. It doesn't matter.
I was like, I'll throw some pads on against Nick Gates.
I
was thinking.
I might have slower feet than Nate Solder, but I might be a little tougher. So I'll take that.
It's a tough one.
I want to brag. Have you met Brian Dable yet?
I saw you take a picture with him.
I finally met someone before LPG.
No, I met him. But
Son of a bitch.
but I liked your picture. It was pretty freaking cool. I did. I mean, he literally, look, if you guys did see it, Bobby put out this picture, him meeting coach, and somebody obviously on the sideline snagged it, which I thought was awesome. Probably one of Bobby's inside media guys.
Yeah.
But
I may have
from
called
Florida.
that guy the devil on our private Patreon Twitter
so he
the day
snagged
before.
it, and it really looks like coach is trying to get you on the sideline, like trying to get you in pain.
He was pulling you.
I think so too, Justin. He was talking about swing tackle. He was. I saw it.
You're
Yeah,
probably
then
better
he saw
than the
me
guy who
like
just
walk
picked up.
away. He's like, maybe guard.
Meanwhile, you're like, I can't. I adjust in. He's like, we'll put him on the team too. So you're set.
Long snapper.
What's the thing you're most excited for out of Brian Dable? Chris?
The offense. It's got to be. It's got to be the new offensive scheme, and I think that's what most Giant fans are most excited about going into this year. We had 2 years of hell with Jason Garrett, and you guys were the most outspoken people about it, and his scheme was from the prehistoric era, and now we actually have what seems to be an innovative offense, at least from what we've seen when we've gone to the practices.
Yeah.
Seems like Kafka's going to be calling the plays. That was announced, right? But
We'll announce it.
Brian Dable has
Right now.
basically said it without actually saying it.
Yeah.
It's happening.
It's like, yeah, he's calling the
It's
plays
happening.
every time we've done something, but
It's
we haven't made the
happening.
decision yet.
But yeah, I mean,
And he left Kansas City to come here, so put two and two together. He's calling the
It's
plays.
probably in his interview.
for me, it's just a new scheme though, and just the way they're going to use all the pieces. The Wan'Dale Robinsons. Call me crazy, and I know a lot of Giants fans have fallen off on him.
Crazy.
I think Barkley's having a huge year. I think Saquon Barkley
He's going back to the 2,000 plus
Huge year.
all-purpose. I 100% agree with you. Where is Will?
Well,
No,
Where
let's
the
not
hell's
do
it?
that. Please. let's not do that.
You put Barkley in this scheme where I think they're going to use him a lot more as a pass catcher. It's a contract year. He's now 2 years removed from the ACL. I think everything sets up really well for him and Wan'Dale and obviously Kadarius Toney. What I'm interested in is how they're going to utilize Golladay. But overall, I'm really excited about this offense.
Number one, wide receiver one.
And
That's how they're using him.
That's
baby.
what we've
They
seen.
better.
him- is
They are.
deep-
They better.
We've seen
They
him
are.
deep down the field in every practice. Like they're using him. I don't know how good he'll be, but they're finally using. We talked about it. It was mind-numbing. It's one thing to not use a guy the right way. It's even more so to pay the guy $72 million and then not use him the right
And that's
way.
what I was going to
Kenny
say.
Golladay.
I mean, he was number one in the league for 50-50 balls. Number one in the league, couldn't get one. He
Not
couldn't get one.
No, actually, Jake Fromm got it.
yeah,
one
Jake
time.
Fromm was the first one against Dallas at home.
All right,
bad.
all right,
in
let me
the
ask
fourth
you.
quarter,
How could I forget that?
36, 32 yards.
But with Daniel Jones, I think they attempted two. Two was one in garbage time on 4th and 15 versus Denver, and then one out versus Washington they missed. So in 11 games, they attempted two to the guy.
Unbelievable.
Who's going to catch more touchdowns this year? Andrew Thomas or Kenny Golladay?
Great
Shut up.
question. Great question.
You brought up a sick point about the setting up the offense. There's so much misdirection.
Yeah.
And I forgot. Maybe it was probably talking Giants because who else would
Sure.
have such this great inside information?
It's true.
But they were talking about putting 5 across up, and I think it was Shane. It was like, why would we do all across? He's like, because we can. And I was like, oh, my God, it was such a great line because he could do anything he wants. And just what he said the other day in regards to, the offense doing whatever they want. I mean, when have we had that? When have we had such misdirection and such quality?
Creativity.
And what did Coach say? He said, I was talking to Kafka and talking to the players, and if they don't like a play, hey, you know what? We ran that 5 or 6 times. Doesn't look like it's going to work. Scrap it.
Yeah, wide receivers have that freedom.
Are you kidding me? Yes.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me that someone actually came out and said that?
And that also, I'm sure, makes the players excited, too. I can
Correct.
imagine, it was very obvious Kenny Golladay freaking hated Jason Garrett.
He hated him more than me.
You
He
think?
hated him.
He might have,
Even
he
though
might have.
Kenny Golladay signed the contract and said the offensive scheme was one of the reasons why he came here, I could think of 72 million other reasons why he came here. But I just think it could get a guy like Kadarius Toney where, we're talking about how bought in is he, right? Yeah. We're talking about that. I think that can get a guy like him hopefully excited and ready to rock and roll for this year.
No question.
Yeah.
When you really knew Golladay didn't like Garrett was after that Washington game where Golladay was yelling. And he came out no, I was yelling at Garrett, not
he's
Daniel.
they asked
made
him,
it clear
they asked
I was
him,
not
he's
yelling
like,
at
no. It was Garrett.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, wait. Don't say that.
And not even like it sounds like parody, but it was literally a 3rd and 9, and they had him run a curl on the backside. So
Well, I really don't think you should mention any 3rd and 9s around
now we got
Giant
Tony.
fans. So maybe you should not say that again.
should we go to? Nah, let's not go to record predictions quite yet. What do you think of Tony? Like, do you think he's going to be a star, or am I getting a little overhead of myself
so listen,
with him?
he's also a star, and I think he had a very rough rookie year. And it's funny, I really want to know how Giants fans think about Tony, because he caught a lot of crap for last year, okay? But he wasn't put in the right settings last year either, and he caught the injury bug. And every time we talk about injuries,
the injuries, man.
I know, but every time we talk about injuries, I always want to ask, how bad was the injury, like, compared to the Giants' record? I always say that. Like, so if the Giants are 0-7,
Thank you.
1-8, and someone comes down with an injury like a Tony, do you keep him out because, or do you keep him out because it's severe? I always want to know that, you know?
But also the thing that bugged me most about Tony's rookie season is not just, the injuries and stuff like that, but they only played Kadarius Toney when they were forced to play Kadarius Toney. So remember when Shep went down? Remember when Golladay went down?
Forced.
Everybody went down, and then it's like, oh, this guy's actually good.
Yeah. Did everybody see the rookies thing that the Giants posted in regards to, he was interviewing Shep and this and that? Like, his shell.
Back to you, Brian.
He came out of his shell, and it's pretty cool to see the players when you think they're so uptight. They're not. Tony's down to earth like everybody else, and I think he's a human joystick. He's going to be all over the field. All over the field.
Media some clowns.
Media some
Kadarius
clowns.
Toney is not.
Bobby and I were initially matching shirts today.
Yeah,
I've seen you change shirts 5 times today.
Dude, he's a Wrangler guy right now.
It's hot, man.
That's it. I'm wrangling.
It was hotter last year.
It was
How
hotter.
did we? How did?
I just
how
need
did
the
we run
pocket.
her up?
I need
Not
the
me.
I don't know if
my
it was
shirt.
hotter last year because I think the lap made it seem hotter. It's
Yeah,
pretty hot
that's
this
true.
year.
Oh, yeah. Last year was like sweating a little bit, and then we ran the lap, and it's like, I will not stop sweating for the rest of the day. Like, that's the only reason I'm glad Joe Judge is gone. I don't have to run a lap
I
again.
love that you guys are talking about how hot it was and you put me in the freaking sun.
Well, you got the guns out, man. You got to get them tanned
Hot.
up a little
I
bit.
knew you put me in the sun. I would have taken the tank.
I'm in Florida, so I get it enough. You guys got to get your shine a little bit.
It's a little bit.
And if we put Justin out there, he'll be bright red. So we
It's
can't
true.
do that to him.
It's true. I'm already showing a little Andrew Thomas like leg from the interview, from the Van interview.
When I
so.
got here, I was really disappointed he wasn't eating a hot dog with ketchup.
Well, someone asked us, like, well, and I bet his name was Chris. He's like, well, what are the wives going to do when they're here? I was like, one, they're going to enjoy the good time. I was like, Justin will eat a hot dog for them. Like, Justin's hot
Yeah,
dogs.
Joe,
been
have
our
you
most
seen
constant-
that? Have you? I mean, I know you've seen. You
I've
comment
seen
all
it.
the time. Have
No.
you seen my morning
He eats a hot
camp
dog
tradition?
every morning at training camp, and
Because
people
the
lose
Giants
their
and Pat
minds.
Hanlon said I can't record practices, so I'm like I have to do something else.
Yeah, so
I'm
you
gonna
went
eat
to the hot
dogs
dog. I
at
know.
9
I saw
a.m.
it. I think it's wonderful.
Thank you.
And I'm both. I could go ketchup or mustard.
Mustard, yeah.
But my go-to is ketchup.
Thank you.
So you could go solo ketchup over mustard.
Yeah.
I could mix the both. I can't go solo
I
ketchup.
could
We
do
did
that
this
too.
on your show the other day.
I do it too. Do you mix your ketchup and your mayo for fries?
I'm not a mayo guy.
Not a mayo guy?
Not a mayo guy.
Are you a ranch guy?
Disappointed.
Not a ranch guy.
Are you a blue
Ranch
cheese
guy.
guy?
What?
You're not
Not
a
a blue
ranch
cheese
guy.
guy.
What are you?
Come
Not a guy? Come on.
Just don't give me anything white. I'm good to go.
I like vanilla ice cream. I like marshmallows.
I
but-
like marshmallows.
I gotta say, I just noticed we had Nick Gates, talking Giants Ring of Honor member here, license plate guy Ring of Honor here, and Sam Prince, talking Giants Ring of Honor here.
Sam Prince. Sam Prince, come here.
Give
come
him
here.
the microphone.
Come here. Come here. Come speak into the microphone.
It is crazy how much of a superstar you are.
Here, come sit in my seat first.
I almost
Thank
feel
you,
like
Justin.
we drafted Sam.
Well, guys, thank you for having me. Best tailgate at FanFest. Let's give it a round of applause for everyone who made this tailgate happen.
Sam, that was the greatest thing you did at the draft. It was real. It was exciting. I think every Giant fan was extremely pumped up, and you deserve everything you get from here on in.
Thank you, LPG. You're the best. Thank you, Giants fans.
Sam just stole the show. We can just go. He's
Is
going to finish the rest.
is he not gonna pick next year too, and every pick after that?
I mean, based off this prior draft, he's got to do it every year.
That's I've never heard that one before. You're good.
I love it. And you know what? This season, we got to get I would love a Sam Prince chant. That would be amazing.
Oh,
but I want to get, you've been saying this on your lives for a while. I want to get a Let's Go Giants chant. I'm tired of the stadium being quiet. We were in the dark ages for too long now. We're coming. The light is coming. That tunnel, I'm seeing it. I want a Let's Go Giants chant at every game. And let's start it now.
Let's go
Giants.
Giants.
Let's go Giants.
Let's go
Giants. Let's go Giants. Let's go Giants.
Woo!
Let's go Giants.
All right, here we go.
See?
Next 10 minutes of the
Giants.
That should take up the rest
Let's
of the show.
go Giants. Let's go Giants.
I was
Let's go Giants.
leaning towards a new chant.
All right, here's a
Old school
chant.
which I like.
Oh,
Something.
we'll work on it. We'll work
We'll
on
work
it.
on it. We'll work on it.
I
It
got
can't
one.
be Big Blue Champ
No,
because it's like
Big Blue blew it.
Right, you can't do it.
See, I
but
listen.
the G-Men, it should be one end zone, the other end zone, and everybody that says you're stealing for the Jets, shut up.
Wow.
It's G-Men throughout the whole stadium, make it rock.
I got one.
Yeah, that was back in the day, baby.
I got one. Screw Pat Leonard.
We can all get on board with that.
Wow. That's not going to get you unblocked, bro.
Paul Dottino unblocked me, Tim from Florida.
That's what I'm
Honestly,
saying.
I don't think I've smiled as much as Paul Dottino acknowledging Tim from Florida.
That's funny.
All right, so we can finish up. Thank you again, Sam, for joining
Of course.
us. You're
Thank
the
you for
man.
having me.
We
Where
love
did Justin-
Sam Prince
Justin
here.
just
We love
ran
Sam
away.
Prince. Most enthusiastic
Appreciate
draft I've
you.
ever seen in my life.
Oh,
In my
over
life.
you? Over you?
I never did a draft, so you already got me. That was incredible.
Thank you for having me.
Love you, Sammy.
Love you guys. Let's go Giants.
Dude, I told Sam,
I've had like 4 or 5 beers, so I'm just, anyone I hate, I'm just starting chants for it
it
now.
looks like Sam had 4 or 5 beers.
Yeah. No, you're going to get us in trouble. He did not have 4 or
No,
5
he did not.
beers.
Sorry. This is not Sam's.
Before we wrap up our FanFest live show, we got to thank Bareburger. They are sponsoring today's FanFest show. Bareburger Kitchen and Bar. I recently had an elk burger at Bareburger, and it was really, really good. I've also had the bison burger. They got something for everyone. Yes, even you. They have a ton of different options for burgers. They have exotic burgers. Like I said, elk burgers, bison burgers. They also have ostrich burgers. I really want to try that. Thank you to Bareburger Kitchen and Bar, located in the tri-state area, Connecticut, New Jersey. Ton of locations in New York for sponsoring this FanFest live show. You want to do record prediction? Do we
Let's
like
do
that?
record prediction. We're asking everybody. I hate being asked this. I did this there's a series we're coming out doing, creepy van interviews. Literally gave people candy.
Creepy van. I will get into the van, but I need the candy before I get in the van.
Sounds good.
We can do that.
Sounds good.
Fair enough.
We can do that.
I'm not an idiot.
Record prediction and kind of like where your mind is to get to that record prediction.
All right. You want my realistic record prediction or my unrealistic record prediction?
As
I want
long
what
as
your heart
unrealistic
says.
doesn't go over 9 wins.
Meet him in the middle. Meet him in the middle.
So look,
Do that again with your hands.
I'm always
Unrealistic prediction, but realistic explanation.
All right, so look, I'm a big believer that the Giants are going to win double-digit games.
77-0.
I'm going with 10 victories for this team. No, honestly, and yes, Justice said it before. What do they have? 7.5 is the over-under in
7.5.
Vegas. For the last X amount of years, I've been betting the over. It's still been that same. I'm going the over. My realistic goal for the Giants is 8 solid wins.
Amen.
Entertainah, how many wins?
I want to say 17.
Sure.
But,
Including the postseason.
no, including the postseason, I won 20.
Sure, that works too.
Yeah. But no, my realistic expectation is 7. I think we got a shot at 8, but I'm going to go 7. I look at our schedule. We play probably as weak of a schedule as you could ever ask for. And it kind of sucks because I feel like this is kind of a transition year. I would have rather gotten the schedule next year when we had a more developed team and some of these younger players were further along. But it is what it is. I do think we could take advantage of a lot of the teams on our schedule. But at the same time, I'm gonna go in realistic and not set the bar too high. I realize that we got a new offense, a new defense. It's gonna take some time to gel. So I think 7, maybe 8, but I'm gonna go with 7. I'm gonna take the conservative approach.
Last year was brutal. Well, one, we were a 6-10 team that had a second place schedule.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we had to play the AFC West, which was just disgusting. We beat the Raiders, though. That was nice.
We did.
We're a pretty good team. I said 6-11 a couple weeks ago.
All right, as you're
But
making up your
being
mind, I'm
around-
going 8-9.
Go explain why.
Vegas sets it at 7.5. I'm going to put $100 on the over.
That's
8-9.
That's his expectation.
That's the
I
explanation.
love it.
Biggest win of the season.
Biggest win of the season this year.
Yes.
Like the biggest upset?
I honestly,
Yeah.
I really think we're going to be Tennessee week 1, and that will be the thing that sets us off on a good track.
I'm going to make the crowd happier. I'm calling it. We are going to beat the Dallas Cowboys with Dak.
In Thanksgiving.
We're going to split with
In
Dallas this
Dallas.
year. We're going to get a split.
Are we winning in Dallas on Thanksgiving?
Of course we are.
So we're losing at home?
We'll lose at home. It's early in the year. You got to get, acclimated.
But wouldn't you rather win on Thanksgiving?
I would.
You know.
Are we splitting with the Eagles?
Yeah. Jalen Hurts sucks. Yes, absolutely. I was at the game last year. Did 4
year with like
picks.
10 points.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I can't. The hate that Eagle fans send my way with Daniel Jones. Like, you have Jalen Hurts, bro.
He sucks.
Jalen Hurts is garbage. I don't care. He's full garbage.
You were at the game here last year.
He's full garbage.
He can't. He's Tim Tebow. That's what he is. He's Tim Tebow.
Last year, Xavier McKinney asked Devontae Smith to tell Jalen to throw him a pick, and he threw him a pick. So
What up, guys?
we got some fans. What's going on, guys? They're fans of the license plate guy. Yeah, I'm excited for this team. Like,
yeah.
How could you not be?
Take it or leave it. That's what he sounds like.
who's the player that can be at the bottom or the top that you think is like the biggest reason why the Giants are good or bad? Mine is Adoree Jackson.
Mine is Daniel Jones.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
All right,
you have to go
ask
other
it
than
outside of the quarterback because you're
Yeah,
always
yeah.
going to say quarterback.
Mine would be
That's
Adoree
it.
Jackson because he's a good corner, and he's played cornerback 1 before. Now, last year was outstanding besides the dropped interceptions. Like, he won't match his coverage ability last year. But, one, if he can stay healthy and be a solid cornerback 1, it really does help the team a lot.
You know what, Chris? I really like that you excluded the.
Because you're right. You always go quarterback.
Yeah, and let's exclude Barkley.
You can leave Barkley in there.
No. I think I'm going to use McKinney.
I like it.
I think
I like it.
McKinney.
Whole new role this year.
Yeah, a whole new role. I think he's going to be a ball hawk.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be all over the field. He'll be backed up by Landon Collins by that time. And I just think.
Well, you mean Blake Martinez will be backed up by the way.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm taking shots at all your friends. This is mean to me.
No.
You can make
And
fun of
I
Nick
think
Gates and
I think
Andrew
it's
Thomas
McKinney.
now.
I like it.
So what's the question here?
Who's the player that realistically could be up or down that's going to make the biggest difference on the
I
the
think it's
Giants
Leonard
winning
Williams.
So the X factor, essentially. That's what you're asking about?
The X factor, but it could be a star player too.
I think it's
How
Leonard
many
Williams.
sacks, Justin? Double digits? Or just under?
I'm going 7.5.
I like that
So
one.
where
I like-
Vegas has the. you
I'm
know
actually
what?
going to go higher than that. I think Leonard's going to have a big year.
I just don't know what Leonard Williams is going to be in Wink Martindale's defense because let's honestly, this isn't even just a Giants homer take. I've tried to look at the personnel of the Ravens defense the last couple years and try and see where it's similar or the same or different from the Giants personnel that they have this year. I think Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams are the 2 most talented interior defensive linemen that Wink Martindale's had to work with. Maybe besides Calais Campbell, but Calais Campbell after Jacksonville was not the same type of all-pro quality player. So I am really, really excited for what Leonard Williams can do because also I'm just a huge Leonard Williams fan.
Yeah, like Leonard Williams to him is like Andrew Thomas to me.
Yes.
It's
love
just
Leonard
constantly defending him, bringing out
Oh,
the
because
numbers.
2019, everybody said that I was a fool, and I said that he's going to turn around, he's going to be all right, and yeah, the contract, blah
And
blah
he's
blah.
more than that. He's more
That's right.
than all
I think he's going to get extended. He's going to be on the team longer than Golladay.
like it.
All right.
That's my take.
That's a good question.
Anything else before we roll out?
Well, I didn't say my X factor. Nobody said him. I'm going to say Aaron Robinson. I think the cornerback 2 position is
Yeah.
very important.
Huge.
And I'll also throw Evan Neal in there, but on the defense,
The
I'm going to go
X factor
Aaron
for
Robinson.
this podcast is if that car stops honking.
There we go.
There you
Asking
go.
to show
Oh, my
receive.
God.
There we go.
Perfect.
That's
Why
my
doesn't-
X
why
factor.
don't- Does Darnay Holmes get any love, or is he just going to be that
He's been
backup
great
role?
in training camp.
Better than
We
great.
haven't put it out yet, but we just recorded our player profile on Darnay, and I think he's just one of those guys who's going to be solid, He's never going to be a star, but he's
No.
never going to be a reason you like. He's a solid player. You know.
I also don't think he's going to cost you, but there's always going to be
He
somebody
is a
in
very
front of him.
successful fourth-round draft pick, Darnay Holmes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah, and he's a great guy. You know, that's his smile is besides
doesn't ever
Kadarius
not
Toney is
smile.
the most infectious smile on the
Yeah.
team.
He's got such a big smile. Like even when he gives up a big play, you're like,
If he can
he
give
always smiles.
like 3 or 4 interceptions to go with like him being able to not like give up a big like. Here's a fun fact I want you to know: how many touchdowns has Darnay Holmes given up as a New York Giant?
0.
0.
I know that.
0.
0.
And that like,
But then he
that's
got
really
hurt.
impressive.
But then he got hurt.
Yeah, but still, you know, there's 23 games he's played,
Correct.
and
Zero
he's given up
that's
0.
correct. 0 touchdowns.
0 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know, and you know that's a spot where in previous years we had Corey Ballantyne, Grant Haley, who lost
Who just
games
tanked
for
the
us.
team, you know?
Darnay Holmes is never going to be a guy who loses a game for us.
How many touchdowns has Beal given up as a Giant?
It's barely been on the
Sam
field.
I mean, Danny King's favorite best
That's
video
Chris.
ever is yelling at Sam Beal.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
So
Hey,
I
Bobby Skinner.
miss Sam Beal a little bit.
I don't at all.
I think it's time we kind of got to get inside and watch this scrimmage and watch these guys go after each other a little bit.
Yeah,
All right.
Hold on, I got to say something.
Yeah.
Look, you guys talking Giants, getting everybody around. I got to tell you, you guys are doing an unbelievable job. You are the most down-to-earth people. You cover everything from eating hot dogs to videoing stuff that we would never think of. Sometimes you put together numbers. I'm like, what is he even talking about? But when I break it down, it's amazing. So
Vans.
you got candy and Vans inviting kids in. That's a little much. But I mean, overall, you guys are unbelievable, and it's always a pleasure hanging out with you guys.
Something that made me happy, I was Julian staying with me at the Airbnb, and the Raiders' fifth-string running back is Austin Walter.
Right?
I had a tweet saying the Giants signed Austin Walter versus that Patriots game Thursday Night Football when John Hillman was the starting running back. Was cut immediately for Alex Tanney. And I was very proud that I knew that useless information. So.
That useless information. I knew that Tyrone Wheatley
But no, seriously,
Jr. was playing.
Thank you for everything you do. Like I'm not trying to gas you up,
Yes.
but you do a lot. You get credit, but you don't get enough credit.
Give it up for
and you do
LPG.
a lot.
You know what? I appreciate that, but I tell everybody this all the time. London tickets or raffles or giving away tickets, I can only do that because of my platform, and my platform is only because of Giant fans giving them to me.
But I know
so
you.
I give them, but it comes from them.
You will spend an entire 5 hours on a game day morning giving away tickets, and that's not enjoyable, but you do it because you're a good dude.
I appreciate that.
Entertainah, you're not really a great dude, but
Wow.
no. Thank you for
But you're very
joining us.
knowledgeable.
I mean, Chris has some of the craziest fans in the world. Like, they are diehard. I always love going on his stream. We get it. We always have a good time. And I want to say thank you because when we first started YouTube, we were already talking Giants. We get YouTube. I start talking Giants. There's a Talking Giants with Chris and Entertainah. And I was like, this guy's going to hate my guts. Because if it was the other way around, what's up, little buddy? Oh, these things kill the environment. Bye. I learned that. And if that happened on the other way around, I'd be like, whoever just started this Talking Giants is pissing me off.
That's
But
awesome.
Chris just welcomed
I didn't
us
know
in.
that.
Yeah.
So we think, and he just does a really
Yeah.
good job. King of Giants YouTube, appreciate you.
No,
brother.
man, I appreciate you guys having me on. You did a great job today.
Justin does a lot of all this. Justin's going, his head spinning to get all this to work. Obviously, Talking Giants.
Hey, cool.
Are people yelling my name? Because I have headphones.
No, and thank you to everybody here. Like really, like
And
this is
thank
really
you to the people.
this is really awesome.
I want to
Bareburger,
say thank you.
Yo, let's get these kids on TV, man.
Let's get them
Go
on
ahead.
TV.
Wave,
They're
let's
awesome.
go,
Let's
Get on
wave.
TV.
Wave, get them on TV. Let's
There
go.
you go.
I want to say thank you to everyone
What the
except
freak
for
is this? No, but this is so awesome. The FanFest and these tailgates and getting everybody together. Especially these last 2 years. Coming off of a tough 2020. It's been really, really awesome. So thank you all for being here. Talking Giants versus the world. Let's go, Big Blue. Let's get after it.
Thank
this
you
year.
to everyone
together.
except for Danny King. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, let's go,
Stick
Big Blue.
together, Giants fans. Stick together.